International real estate sounds sexy and glamorous. How can you take part in international real estate, especially if you're from another country? Hey, everybody, Mike Ferrante here. One Mike team, we're real estate agents serving greater Cleveland, all of Northeast Ohio, down to Central Ohio. So if you have a need for real estate here in Ohio, the United States, or dare I say, anywhere in the world, go ahead and hit us up. It's 21mike.com. Click that button at the top and schedule an appointment with me or someone on the team. Now, I keep saying international real estate, and you're wondering, what the heck, Mike? You're based out of Ohio. How can you possibly help internationals? So, in this session, we're not only going to talk about how to help international clients, we're going to talk about how you, as an agent, a broker, can leverage your international connections, your skills, your languages to increase your business. So, without further ado, let me introduce today's guest. We have Jad Sandi from the team, originally from Morocco. Jad, thanks for being here.
Hello. Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Thank
I'm
you.
excited for this because you have some interesting background, and I think let's start with that. Tell people where you're from, how you came to Cleveland, and just give us
Yeah,
some background on Jad.
absolutely. So my name is Jad Sandy. I am a real estate agent with, of course, the best team in the country and the world. uh, I was born in Morocco. I am, from Morocco, and I started my journey in the United States in 1999. Uh, I speak multiple languages, and I pretty much I started a family when I moved into the States. You know how it goes. I had some entry level jobs I start with, and going forward, I want to see how I can develop myself. I started my own business, which is a coffee shop. I ran that for a while and until 2019. That's when and I always have the passion of real estate. I want to always get into real estate. So when COVID hit, you know how restaurant business went down and things like that. So I decided to go and start my real estate journey. The first couple of years I started as a property manager, and after that I went to the sales. And that's how I built my uh, pretty much my career around the real estate.
Got it. And so, Jed, not only are you an agent who serves international clients, but you yourself are an international investor. So
Correct.
let's go back to Morocco for a second, because it's
Sure.
not a country that a lot of people know a lot about or talk about.
Yeah.
Where are you from? And talk about the different languages that you speak as a result of being from Morocco.
Sure. Sure. I mean, I'm from Marrakesh, so it's pretty much the southern city of Morocco. Uh, it's the center southern city. So I speak Arabic, French, and of course English, and I speak Berber too, which is the local language in Morocco.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
So
I think the French is a result of it being a French colony at some point in the
correct.
distant
So
past.
Morocco was occupied by the French for so many years,
Yeah,
uh, and that's our second language. So in
got it. So four languages. And Jed, talk about for a second how that has helped you in your real estate career. I know, like right off the top of my head, we have some clients that they're very comfortable with you because of the French. So talk about how that has been a plus and how having that skill, really, it's a skill, has helped
absolutely,
you in your real estate business.
absolutely. So a lot of people or out of state or our country investors or foreign investors, you want to invest in the United States, of course, but there's always the language barrier, that someone can understand the market and explain things to them better and stuff. And that's how I find out my niche with our country investors or foreign investors, especially the French people, you know. So I built up that relationship with one investor, which is was a French, and he's still my investor. And that's how I turn in one investor to multiple investors from that certain investor. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Would you say that having someone who speaks your language helps with trust and just building the relationship?
absolutely, absolutely. When you build up that relationship and you deliver success to them, you know what I mean, and you explain how the market, works in Cleveland. Myself, I am an investor, so it's easy for me to explain to another investor, especially, someone that speak my language or different language, and it's easy to communicate with them. You know what I mean, and you make whatever it's easy for them, a platform which is, of communication that's easy to communicate. It helps a lot to build that relationship and forward. So,
What
and
about talk about a challenge? Obviously when we start talking to you, it's clear that you have an accent and
yeah,
that's never going to go away. I mean, you've
no,
been here long enough, it's never going to go away.
absolutely.
Talk about the challenges because I know so Jad, I get agents who they want to say, "Hey, I want to grow my business, but I'm worried about how I speak." In fact, one of our teammates is on the call and he worries all the time about his accent. We've got someone who's Ukrainian and she's got a thick accent. So, talk about any challenges that you've faced, as a result of maybe being international and having an accent. Have you faced any?
Absolutely. I mean, to come here as a foreigner and start from the beginning of your life, it's always a challenge, you know what I mean? But how to uh, present yourself to the society and how to integrate with others, you know what I mean? It's just your personality that's overcome that challenge pretty much. So
Yeah. So I know that you have done some activities that have specifically attracted clients to you because of who you are. I'm thinking specifically some language posts that you did. So talk about some strategies, at least the one that you did that helped you attract people that connected with you because of this international flavor.
I mean, it's easy and simple. It's social media. So pretty much post that I speak multiple languages, you know what I mean? And I send a couple, emails and messages to clients overseas that, you know, got their info. And that's how I promoted myself as, that I speak, different languages. And it's easy for me to communicate with them.
Well, I remember you specifically posted something in English, French, and Arabic on your Facebook feed, and imagine how eye-catching that is to someone whose language that's their native language. And I'm scrolling through Facebook and I see something in Arabic, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a real estate agent that speaks my language. And I think you actually got an inquiry just from a simple Facebook post.
That is true. It was a simple, like you said, a Facebook page post that I created, and I picked up business from that. Just people, try to they did reach out to me and try to, know the market and try to invest in Cleveland. So, and it was just an easy, simple way to communicate. So,
Yeah. So what would you say, Jad, to agents who maybe aren't from the US and say, oh, you know what? I'm afraid to do video. I'm afraid to post or I'm afraid to talk to people because of my accent. What advice would you give them?
I think you have just to go for it. I don't think that the accents are, it's a barrier right now. You know what I mean? You have just to challenge yourself and go for it. I mean, you are in this business. People need to know who you are, and just be yourself, you
Yeah.
know.
I mean, eventually they're going to meet you and
Absolutely,
hear you. So
absolutely,
just get
absolutely,
over it, right?
exactly. And we always say that too. Just get over it.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
face the challenge. So
So let's shift gears for a second. You have a background in management. I know that you and I both agree that is a grueling, tough business. And while we don't
correct.
specifically perform management,
Yeah.
talk about how having that experience in management helps you serve investor clients better.
Definitely. So, I have a couple of years, like you mentioned, I have a couple of years in property management. They help my my career in real estate to understand the market, to understand pretty much the Cleveland area or the greater Cleveland area, how the investing in real estate works, especially on the rental part of the real estate. That helped a lot. When I went to the sales, I have that background of property management, so a lot of investors asking me about the location, the zip code, the neighborhood, the rental, what I get for this, unit, what's rental in this neighborhood, or zip code. So I have that knowledge just from my background of property management. I built up that knowledge to answer this question to my
Sure.
investors. So that's made it easier for me to, explain the investing process for any you or a rookie investor.
Yeah, I often say that you can have the best property in the world, but if you don't have a good manager, it's like having a
Absolutely.
sports car in the garage and no gas in the tank.
That is true. That is true. Because I mean, property management, like they say on, even they can make you rich or they can break you down.
Yeah. Well, there's no shortage of property managers here in Northeast Ohio and undoubtedly everywhere. And I don't know about you, but I've heard a lot of people with frustrations over not, having a
Absolutely.
good experience with management. So apart from management recommendations, I would imagine because of your experience in rehabbing and flipping and owning rentals, you probably have a lot of good referrals for people who want to work for you, right?
Sure, sure, sure. I mean, I do a lot of business with property management managers, on the sales part and stuff. So we refer clients to each other, things like that. So it's easy for me, and I see how some property managers works, and of course the feedback from investors as well.
Yeah.
So
So contractors, managers, I mean, you're a one-stop shop. Someone can come to you
correct,
and say, I want to buy, I want to renovate, I need management. That's
absolutely,
one of the benefits of working with you as well.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And we talked about your experience as literally an international investor. So you own properties here in the States and
Yeah,
overseas.
overseas
So
as well.
talk about that. Talk about your portfolio for a second and your experience as an investor and how that helps you serve your clients.
Well, I built up my portfolio in a short time. So, I mean, I didn't start investing until 2020. That's when COVID started. Uh, I have about $12 right now. So I'm the property manager. I manage all my properties, and that's given me a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge about investing. I have properties in Morocco as well, you know,
Which I
and
hope to see soon.
yes, that's the next one. You
Yes.
need to. So, of course, the real estate in Morocco, it's not as here, so it's a little bit challenging there, but Cleveland, it's the place to be if you want to invest for sure.
Yeah. Now, you have an interesting perspective because you have people from overseas or out of state coming and trusting you, but you have to do the same thing in Morocco. You have like you can't self-manage in Morocco, right? So
Correct.
so talk
Correct.
about that feeling.
Well, luckily I have, my family member still living in Morocco. So
Okay.
he manage all my portfolio there. So it's
Got it.
easy.
Okay. But still, it's a leap of faith to be able to say, I'm not here. I'm only going to be there once a year, and you have to trust someone
That is
to
sure.
be your eyes and ears and just help
That
you
is
with all the processes.
That is true. I mean, every business, as you know, has challenges, so you have to just trust your gut and move forward with it.
Yeah.
So,
All right. So here you mentioned that you own properties and you self-manage.
yes,
Okay.
I do.
Now, so that is an option. Okay. That self-managing is an option. I'm just curious, at what point, like, how do you make that decision to self-manage versus hiring a property manager? At what point might you say, oh, it's too much for me? So, and talk about in terms of your stuff and the advice that you would give to people with investment properties.
Well, here is the thing. I mean, I have a passion, I have no issues to manage my own, you know what I mean? I love the property management side of my own properties,
Right.
which is make it a lot easier for me to control everything, you know? I mean, of course, I cannot control my wife. She's on the booking side. She takes take care of all the books, but I am on the operation side of it.
Yeah.
what I tell all my investors, especially if you cannot. So the first one or two property when you start, I rather the investors manage his own properties, at least to know the business. When you get into investment, you need to know what you get into. You know what I mean? So it's easy, not easy, but it's how do you say it? So it will be much better for them to manage the first or the and two properties. After that, when you get bigger, yes, think about hiring a property manager. But the first property, you need to know the ins and outs of your property.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you get a hire a property managers, yeah, that's a good idea. But if you are a local, especially a local investor, I mean, if you are a foreign investor, it's going to be hard to manage, of course. But
Yes.
I know some foreign investors that they manage their own properties here. It's going
Yeah.
to be challenging, to do that. But but they try to learn. So uh, it just one thing you have to do first when you start investing, you have to build your team. That's number one. Like I keep telling all the investors, you have to build your team, which is real estate agents, contractor, maintenance guys, things like that, property managers. So that's the first thing you need to know, to do, before you start investing.
I've been saying that for years. Step one is build your team.
Yeah,
Step one is not buying a property. If you bought your property, you put the cart before the horse, as they say, and you really skipped it.
it's
So,
true.
Jed, we're running short here on time, but I wanted to ask you, you said something very interesting to me that you didn't start building your portfolio until 2020.
Mhm.
I think there's a lot of people out there who say, ah, you know what, I would love to start investing, but it's too late. What would you say to them?
Absolutely. In a real estate, it's never too late. Never too late to invest. It just, as you know, I mean, historically, the real estate is just going up and up and up. You never can catch up. So it's always now. You need to get in. If
Yeah.
you decide you need just you know, to get into real estate, go for it. So, like I
Yeah.
said, you have to first think, I have investors who come in. This is other side that come in. They have they'd be like, well, I have $100,000 to spend and, to buy a property. I said, well, first thing, it's not about money. Yes, you have $100,000. You can buy it 100,000, but did you build your team? Did you do some, due diligence? Did you do some market knowledge about where you're going to invest? You know what I mean? So, so you have to educate yourself before you get into investments. So that's
Yeah.
first thing you need to do. Then, of course, to build up the team, and there is the other steps you have to take.
Yeah, I always tell people, Jad, it's no different than investing in the stock market or mutual
Yeah,
funds. You have to ask yourself some questions first. How much risk tolerance do you have?
for sure.
What types of properties do you want? Budget, of course, is one of those questions, but it's one of many questions that people need to ask. Are you buying with cash? Are you financing? Do you want properties that need work? Do you want to fix and flip? Do you want to buy and hold? The questions go on and on and on. So,
Yeah,
when people first come to us, it's usually us asking a lot of questions first to help them get pointed in the right direction. And that's truly one of the most valuable things that you do for your clients. I mean, I've known you long enough to know that you help get your clients pointed in the right direction, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a challenging time, but you have to help your client as much as you can. You know what I mean? So, like I said before, it's just build up that relationship between you and your client. That's number one. I mean, business comes after, but
Yeah.
if that trust's built up from day one, it goes a long way. So
Yeah. So for agents listening to the show here, uh, build the trust, develop the relationships. Would you say that's your best advice for those
absolutely.
agents?
I
Yeah.
mean, success always is built in resilience, hard work, and relationship.
Yep,
So
I agree. And how about for investors? If you had to give them one final piece of advice here, your number one gold nugget, what would it be for investors?
number one gold nugget, educate yourself about the market you get into.
Hmm.
Build your team, ask questions, talk to agents that they are investors, not,
Yeah.
so there's a big difference, as you know, there is, uh, agent that the investment part of the real estate, and there's agent that just the sales part. So uh,
Yeah.
talk to property managers. So just to know the market where you are getting into. So
Yeah. What do you think, Jed, when an international or out of state investor comes to you, like how important do you think it is for them to actually come here and look around?
it's very important. So like I said, Cleveland market, or probably northeast of Ohio, it's known by investment properties. I get investor. I mean, most of them are from France, and they love just the return here. It's it's higher than any other business. That. So the thing is, when you get one client, try to how do you say it? Try to transition that client to multiple clients.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and
You can't be
just
afraid to ask for referrals.
absolutely, absolutely, and be the the helper, the educator. You know what I mean? So you got to know your market. So you
Yeah.
need to more give more info than take.
Right. So, Jad, just to wrap it up here, Cleveland, Akron, Lorain, these are all Northeast Ohio areas where there's really high rates of returns. And earlier you mentioned, oh, I've got $100,000 and I want to buy investment properties. Of course, I know this answer, but I'm going to let you say it. Can I really buy properties with $100,000, Jad?
Absolutely, you can buy property for $50,000. You
Right.
It
Yeah.
just depends, like you said. Are you into buy and hold? Are you into fix and flip? So
Yeah.
you have to know your model of investing. You
Yeah.
know, so I mean that's why we love not us but everybody, every real estate investor. They love Northeast Ohio because of the prices and the market. That's offers. So
Yeah. And so you can still achieve the 1% rule here in Northeast Ohio. $100,000 property easily could rent for $1,000 a month. Our property taxes can be a little on the high side depending on where you are, but certainly the rates of return that we have here blow away most of the rest of the country and really the world too, right?
for sure, for
Yeah.
sure, for
So
sure.
Jad, last thing here, let's just throw your contact information out there. Think about like how if people want to get in touch with you and if they want to speak French, Arabic, English, or what was the local language?
It's Berber.
Berber,
Yep.
and talk to you about investing here in Northeast Ohio. What's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
Best way to do it, I'm on Facebook, Jad Sandy, or you can contact me at JadC21 at gmail.com.
Perfect. Yep. And you guys can always message me as well. You can go to 21mike.com, click the button,
Yep,
and just, mention Jad and we'll get you connected with him. Jad, great wisdom today. I appreciate you taking time with us. We
appreciate
got to
you.
do this again soon. That was a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
for sure. Thank you. Thanks for the invite.
Okay, we'll wrap it up. Join us next week. We've got a few more interviews coming up here between now and the end of the year. And then, like we do every year, we're going to talk business planning. So if you're an agent and you want to put together a business plan to win in 2026, that'll be coming up here in the month of December. So thanks for being with us, everybody. Have a great rest of your week.